Over the past several years, few complications have skyrocketed in popularity quite like the GMT complication has. Whether due to its practicality during travel, its inspirational nature pushing the wearer to daydream of trips past or potentially of the future, or perhaps due to its deep roots in horological history, GMTs have been sought after tool watches to round out a collection. However, until technological advancements made somewhat recently, GMT watches have been relegated to that upper tier of the luxury segment, making them more aspirational than daily drivers. Now, as things tend to go, companies noticed this large hole in the market where people wanted more obtainable GMT watches, whether that be mechanical or quartz calibers, and began developing a large variety of watches in the $1,000 and under category, bringing GMT watches to the masses finally. Which brings us to the current market, where you can go and you can look at any given website and see an entire collection of GMT watches for under $1,000. But what if I told you that there was actually a watch out there that was priced well under that? A GMT watch that looked like it was actually hovering around that $1,000 tier, or maybe even slightly above that, but was priced at under $200. Well, the watch we're going to be looking at today does exactly that. Yes, that does push us into the quartz camp away from the mechanical GMT. However, it does mean that we're going to be getting finishing that takes us into a surprisingly higher category of watch. We're going to be getting a dial with pretty elevated texturing that makes it look like a fancier, more expensive luxury watch than you're actually going to be paying for. And at the end of the day, you're getting a GMT complication that is a little bit unique, something that you're not going to see every day in the entire micro brand space, which is usually where this price category tends to thrive. And it's coming from a bigger brand, one that maybe you've looked at, but also maybe you haven't. Now, this watch has been out for quite a little while now, and I cannot wrap my mind around why more people are not talking about it, so we're going to do that today. And the watch I am talking about is the Timex Q Continental GMT. More specifically, the white dial version on the rubber strap option. Originally founded back in 1854 as the Waterbury Clock Company in the United States, Timex would go on to become one of the most recognizable brand names in the market, known for producing mass-appealing designs for an attainable price, something that I think they are still known for to this day. Looking at their catalog today, Timex creates an incredibly diverse design language portfolio of watches with very attainable prices aimed at every corner of the market, ensuring that no matter what your tastes are, you can find it on the Timex website. However, what that does mean though is that a lot of enthusiasts tend to start off with Timex and then pass them by and move on to other brands, maybe more niche brands that other people aren't used to seeing. Because let's face it, Timex is a brand that we all know. It is a very recognizable brand name. And because of this, there was probably a time where in which you could walk into any office space and most of the workers would be wearing simple time-only watches brandishing the equally simple block text of Timex. Now though, thanks to the rise in quartz and digital technology, Timex is facing more stiff competition than ever, meaning that they're having to compete with a wide variety of companies, not just the big boys like Casio and Fossil, but more of the micro brand space as well, competing at that lower end of the market for the enthusiast community. So a short time ago, Timex did something very smart, and they followed the industry trend of looking back into their archive, plucking some of their vintage designs out that a lot of people really resonated with, and offering a few reissue models that really spoke to the enthusiast community rather than the mass audience out there that they're used to targeting. Based on designs from the 1970s, these new reissues in 2010 bore the name Timex Q. They had steel cases, quartz movements, friction fit bezels, vintage style bracelets, and overall a vintage aesthetic that was really popular at the time, which overall brought the enthusiast community back to Timex for the first time in a long time. These new reissues breathed new life into the collection, leading to an abundance of new offerings including 3-hand dress pieces, automatic movements, dive style watches, GMT watches, and now a new updated collection with the distinction of Continental in the name. And despite a similar appearance, we have a wholly redefined case with elevated finishing, dial texture, a new integrated design with a bracelet and a strap option, and a new take on the GMT complication. Now you do have the option of a white dial and a rubber strap or a gray dial with a bracelet, but for this review we're going to be focusing on the white dial option on the rubber strap, as that is the one that really spoke to me and the one that ultimately I purchased and I have been living with for a few months now. Beginning first with the case, we have an overall bolstering of the base architecture, though the dimensions themselves may suggest otherwise. Measuring in at a mass-appealing 39mm in diameter and thickness of just 9mm, it bears a similar shape to the previous version, though it has stouter case sides and more dimensionality with faceted angles. Fine vertical brushing has been applied to every surface, broken up at the transitions between the case sides and top by a polished facet, and then again by a polished facet between the bezel's brushed sides and radially brushed top. The case sides feature a central facet that lends a bit of dimensionality, interrupted at 3 by a polished push-pull crown equipped with adequate grooves and a debossed Q. The pressed-in polished case back with Timex Globe logo protects the movement inside while allowing for battery replacements and staying strong enough for an adequate everyday rating of 50 meters of water resistance. Returning to its top side, you will notice that as light rolls over the polished facet, eventually catching the brushed flat, that it does briefly drop into a facet around the mineral crystal before again rejoining its predominantly flat surface that does incredibly well to cut down on glare, leaving a completely unobstructed view of the dial beneath and lending a cleaner, more modern visual to the overall design. Far and away the standout element of this watch in my eye, the silver-tone white dial begins flat at its outer edge holding a printed black minute track, interrupted every 5 minutes by polished and faceted applied rectangular hour indices that bridge the plane from the dial's outer surface into its concentric circle textured center. At 3, the index is cut short for the faceted date window beneath, while the secondary window at 6 is cut out wide with a red arrow at its center to indicate the GMT hour. At its center, polished pencil hands holding central strips of loom handle hours and minutes with a ticking polished seconds hand tipped with a square of loom above. Dial text finds a decent balance with an applied Q and Timex printed name at 12, and quartz with the year of foundation printed at 6. Overall, legibility on this model is quite nice by day because the polished indices do pick up light. However, at night it can be a little bit tricky because the only loom that you have on this model is that central portion strip on the hands, so you're not getting a whole lot of glow emitting when the light does go dim. Powering this watch is a quartz caliber that does offer hacking for easier setting. In its first position, rotating the crown clockwise sets the date, while counterclockwise sets the GMT hour, keeping the time ticking the entire time, making this technically a caller GMT. Then, in its secondary out position, you adjust the time as normal. The module takes an SR920SW battery, which should be easy enough to source and swap out when the time comes. Stepping further out, the latest Q Continental follows in the popular integrated design with a central male link connecting the lugs to the synthetic silicone rubber strap. Thankfully though, the link is not fixed like we find on other popular integrated designs, meaning that there is some articulation and that lug-to-lug measurement of 45mm does feel true to size, meaning that the overall wearing experience of the case is one that should fit most wrists incredibly well, even on my large ones. Stamped with a basket weave texture to elevate the look, the strap does eventually terminate at a polished steel pin buckle that doesn't really match the rest of the watch, but it certainly isn't offensive. One small gripe that I do want to bring up here though is that over my months of owning this watch, there is a little bit of flex that has happened here at the lugs, and in doing so, the rubber strap has actually started to crack right here at the spring bars, leading to a split, which might eventually fail on me should this continue to wear down. Now very quickly, let's go over some of the pros and cons of this Timex Q Continental GMT before I give you my final thoughts at the very end of the video. First up, as a con, I do want to just mention the price, which has already gone up. When I first purchased the watch, I bought it for $169, and already checking Timex's website at the time of recording, it has already gone up to $189 for the rubber strap option, and again, gone up $20 for the braceleted option to $209. Now, overall, I think this is still a fair value. I think that these are worth the $189 and $209 price point, though it is a bit disappointing that we have seen the price creep already jump into these watches, though for obvious factors in the market, we've seen that all across every single brand. We don't need to get into that here. And then second, obviously, we have to talk about the strap. Yes, the steel pin buckle not matching the case is a bit of a bummer, but not really a deal breaker. That's something you're not going to look at all that often and is not going to turn me off of the design altogether. However, the strap splitting at the spring bar, that is a big deal. This is an integrated design, meaning that finding a rubber strap that is exactly going to match this case might be difficult, and sourcing one from Timex themselves is also going to be quite difficult. So if this continues to stretch out, if it does continue to split and ultimately fails, I might be looking at an issue where finding a strap to wear this watch might not be that easy, and ultimately I might not be wearing this watch for a long period of time until I get a new strap. That's a problem. But then when you flip over to the pros, they really start to overwhelm the cons. The case has been elevated over other Timex Q models to a point at which you would expect the price to also increase. However, looking at the website, they actually have them listed at the same or at least a very similar price point to other models. Of course, you also have to mention the wearing dimensions, which at 39mm by 45mm, it hits a sweet spot for so many. And then you pair it with a thickness of just 9mm, and you have an everyday wearable package that can easily be dressed up and slid underneath a cuff. And then there's that dial, which I think looks phenomenal for the price, bringing an elevated design language to a very attainable price point. And to that notion, Timex has not just released this model in a gray dial, but has also extended the line to include these fantastic day-date models with excellent dial options like this pale blue. And personally, I think that for around $200, these are a fantastic smash hit from Timex. They toe the line between everyday and dress while also giving you a very capable travel complication with that little GMT window, tracking a second time zone should you need it. But those are just my thoughts on this watch, and I would love to know yours in that comment section down below. While you're down there, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. I really appreciate that. But with all of that being said, I know your time is very valuable, and I really appreciate you spending some of it with me here. I will be back very soon with another video, but until then, thank you for being here.